A way through this struggle has already been created for you, and you are being led onto that path. Your authentic soul path may include recognition and acclaim. Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoat Secrets. Hi Capricorn, I am Kristen and I'm a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of love for the month of November for you and your Capricorn placements. I begin with the astrology and I end with a card reading. If at any point in this video you feel connected to me and would like to become a client of mine, you can do so by joining this link here and also in the bio. I welcome you. And as you all know, I am a global citizen and I love connecting with all of you on a worldly and global level. So if you have not already, let me know where you're listening from in the comments and we can all connect and be a strong collective. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. All right, Capricorn, hello. This is your love reading for the month of November. Which is quite exciting because we are sitting in Scorpio season and Scorpio loves Capricorn and Capricorn loves Scorpio, depending. If you would like to see the Scorpio Capricorn compatibility video, you can do so at this link here. But let's begin talking about love for the month of October. I will link the October love reading here as well. So the biggest thing about this, when it comes to the energy of October with love, there were a lot of discussions around who stays and who goes. A lot of you could have found yourself, sorry about that Capricorn, we got cut off and I had to start over. So I kind of changed myself a little bit, but it's okay. Nonetheless, let's get into this. So when we look back at October, we saw a lot of things tied to healing, right? October was a big month for healing when it came to relationships, love matters in general, family as well. So a lot of things about karmic cycles, things that you guys have been doing since you were very young. So this was big in terms of finalizing divorces. A lot of you guys could have just ended relationships or people ended things with you. You could have found yourself revisiting the past in terms of reconciliations, reviving old relationships, whether consciously or subconsciously, meaning like, and I don't mean that in the direct term, I mean more in the sense of revisiting things either with yourself or directly doing it with the other person in order to figure things out. And a lot of this is because you were consciously or again subconsciously being directed to heal things. You know, there's a deep desire to heal, to end really again cycles. And a lot of this has to do with what's going on in your Pluto. Along with the fourth house, which is, you know, who is it that you are? What are your karmic patterns? How has your love life been reflective of your childhood? And have you been dating the same kind of person but in different bodies? Have you been surrounding yourself around the same social groups of the same people but in different forms, different cities, different countries, different things like that, and really wanting to get on top of that. So that's what October did in terms of bringing things back. Some of you could have reconciled or again just ended or reconciled to end. So when we look at November, and November is a different energy. So November is all about your personal empowerment. And like I said, for the love readings, I don't dive too deep into the astrology for the love readings. I kind of do an overarching. But in general, November is about personal empowerment. And then halfway through November, in the second week from the 10th, for the week of the 10th through the 16th, we see Venus entering Capricorn, Saturn going direct, and the full moon entering Taurus. So that week in specific is a big week when it comes to love for you guys because you're looking very attractive to people. Very. You're looking very appealing. You become the beauty standard all of a sudden, especially as that full moon happens in Taurus. Sexuality is the top degree here, and how you express yourself sexually becomes a big conversation. You guys can really find yourselves really loving on yourselves and finding a lot of confidence through exploring your sexuality, really allowing yourself to be the center of someone's world, being the vixen or the victor. I don't know, or the suave, handsome person. During that time period. And again, we're in Scorpio season. Scorpio is the sign of the groin, of the genitals, and sexuality in its deepest parts, in the depths of that energy. So with this, again, it's your 11th house activation. So people in societies, again, socially, you are looked at as appealing. You are looked at as sexy, and you are going to be feeling that way. By that time period, midway through November, you're aware of, again, yourself, your personal power, how your looks can be used for that, the power of your attractiveness, and drawing people to you, feeling that love in that sense. Now, this does not have to necessarily mean that all of you are just interested in promiscuity in that sense. It can simply mean that again, when Venus enters Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn is about serious relationships. It is about serious unions, long-term relationships. So yes, you're feeling more attractive and more beautiful, and people are feeling more attracted to you. You're feeling more sensual with the Taurus new moon. But again, it's more of a serious attraction. So you walk into a room and people are looking at you as someone that they want to commit to more than just sleep with. And again, your mind is also on commitments as well, which it has been for the second half of the year. For the most part, you guys have really been focused on more serious commitments, what it is that you want to do with your life in a long-term scale, especially for those of you who are singles. And that's just the energy of the year of the 8 for Capricorn. So again, people are being able to see you in a better light in terms of them understanding the value that you can hold as a long-term partner. And sensually connecting with people is a great way to deepen connections and deepen partnerships during this time as well. The week after that, Pluto goes into Aquarius. So all eyes are off of you in terms of the Capricorn retrograde, or Capricorn being in Pluto. And, things get lighter as things go into Aquarius, and your focus more goes on second house matters. And the second house is your wealth, but it's also your sensuality. It's ruled by Taurus, right? So while the full moon in Taurus is kind of blanketing over the energy, your second house gets activated with Pluto. So more things tied to this energy of what brings you pleasure, what brings you relief, what your values are, and what it is that you will do with this energy. And again, this is coming from you feeling more empowered in a strong dream state, and really wanting your relationships to be the best thing for you and your deep sense of personal empowerment. So it's not wanting relationships that serve the other person more than they serve you, or being the overdoer Capricorn, or settling or anything along those lines, but it's really wanting to be poured into and valued in your relationships. And the good thing is you're attracting people who want to pour into you. Even if old people may come from the past, because there is a Mercury retrograde happening. Oh my goodness. There's a Mercury retrograde happening at the end of the month. And with that Mercury retrograde happening at the end of the month, obviously, as we know, people come back from the past, and that Mercury retrograde is leading us into December. And, that is a bit of a thing in terms of the past bringing itself back into the future. But outside of that, most of November is more about you falling in love with you, knowing the value of you, and other people knowing your value as well. Suitors are definitely here, and the good thing is they are more serious. If you are dating, things are more serious. If you are being courted, or someone randomly pops up, especially if you just got out of something, you might have the possibility to meet someone new. And this new person you can meet again is more serious. There is this desire for you to be the choice in this energy. If you are just single in general, I'm not sure why you're watching the love and relationships reading. So I guess I will just, meaning if you want to stay by yourself, I would suggest watching the personal reading in terms of, again, personal empowerment, feeling good within yourself, pouring into yourself. But if you are looking to connect or deepen the relationship you are already in, your spouse sees you more clearly, and kind of giving you a bit of a smile in terms of really feeling like, wow, I'm lucky. And again, if you're dealing with trying to deepen a relationship, the con of this is you are being seen in such a good light that it might create insecurity in others. And so that is a bit of an issue in terms of you maybe not being perceived properly, being perceived in a positive light, but that positive light again can create the kind of insecurity, which then can create rocky or shaky ground. But overall, I would say November is a good month for love, especially as Saturn goes direct, and a lot of these things in terms of you having to evaluate and reevaluate your how you show up in the world and how people see you. You're getting a lot of relief tied to that, and it's no more miscommunications or misconceptions. You know, it's who you are is seen at a valued degree, which is nice. So that's what I've got for you when it comes to this energy. It's a rebirth, a renewal, and a great release. And another thing as well, especially as Pluto is exiting Capricorn, karmic completions tied to love. All right. Karmic completions tied to love, which is wonderful. You know, no more going through the same person over and over again or the same scenario over and over again, right? Karmic completions. So great release, great renewal, great rebirth. That's what I've got for you, and we're going to go into the reading now. Hello, Capricorn. So here we are with your love reading for November. Okay, so first things first, this subject is quite interesting. I am just going to be very blunt and say some of you are dealing with third-party situations. I'm just going to make that very clear, especially if you are partnered or, again, if you are single dealing with someone. This feels like residual weight. It feels like something that is carrying over. So this can be a theme for you of third-party dynamics that is ending with a karmic cycle ending, obviously, as we see all these transitions happen in the sky, right? So third-party dynamics, the narcissist empath paradigm could have been something that has been playing out for you for a period of time in your life. And then it comes to its close at this time, which is good. It's good because when we see the third-party dynamic, we see the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Now, this is not the Three of Cups, okay? So Three of Pentacles, again, still feels this way, but it feels this way more in a sense where it's the kind of third-party dynamics that usually end in something practical, which can oftentimes be a little bit more painful or a lot of bit more painful because it feels like many of you have dealt with situations where when it comes to emotional things becoming practical, the Three of Pentacles can almost be like a hedonistic enjoyment, right? Where the Three of Pentacles can be stabilized, romantic, extra romantic dynamics that are that have truly impacted the way in which you relate to another person on a grander scale, because it's not just fun, right? Things are not just lighthearted. So we see that in reverse. And I know I kind of came in straight for the heart with this one, but it just had to be blunt in terms of what it is that I feel. We've got that accompanied here with the Ace of Swords and the Six of Wands. And this is very beautiful because, like I'm saying, this is victory, okay? Victory in love for you guys during this month. But it's not necessarily coming with an easy fight, as we see Girl with the Snake, like I mentioned with the paradigm, and this is also here with soulmates. So how many of you guys have soul contracts with individuals that you've needed to protect yourself from? That seems to be the kicker here, right? What does it mean to be bonded or tied to this kind of dynamic? I can't say it feels like a liberation just from this energy with a new insight. It feels like either, again, this is a theme, so you guys are stepping out of this into more bonded soul contracts, and that's where your victory comes in, right? That's where we see the Six of Wands energy accompanied with the Ace of Swords. But in a very blunt way, for many of you, this seems like a situation that you had. For you, those of you who are singles or dealing with something, it feels like a situation that you were once dealing with, coming back around to provide you with clarity and therefore victory. If you were in a third party dynamic with someone, and the third party dynamic doesn't have to mean, again, whatever your karmic cycle is, because with Pluto exiting your sign, you're ending karmic cycles tied to your love life. So the third party dynamics could have been, yes, in a traditional sense, right? But when we're seeing the Three of Pentacles, it is these more stable extramarital relationships, or third-party dynamics that can just equal social dynamics, meaning family always interfering, friends interfering, communities interfering. This can also look like, when you say communities, it could be cultural, it could be so many different things. Someone has been standing in the way of you being able to have solid connections with other people. And that has been something that has been playing out for you on and off in different ways throughout your love dynamics. And for some of you, it can be that the connection's just not working, right? Like aligning yourself with connections that just don't work well. You two just don't work well together, right? Either because of outside influence, or there's something going on between the two of you where you have to always enable boundaries. You always have to set up walls. I've mentioned to you guys in the past that since Pluto has been in your sign, many of you could have ran into narcissistic or sociopathic connections, because that was a part of how Pluto was evolving you through those very painful relationship dynamics. A narcissistic relationship, or we'll just say abusive, we'll step away from that word and we'll just say abusive relationships, can be so deafening to your psychological and emotional health that it can put you on a healing journey that changes your life completely. And again, for you guys dealing with so much trauma, because of what was going on with your Pluto placement, these relationships could have just been full manifestations of all of the lessons that you've needed to learn in your personal life, probably because of your family of origin, whatever it is that was going on subconsciously, reflecting all back into these relationships so that you could push through this dynamic to then go through your own transformation. Because again, great healing, where there's great healing, there is great change, right? So the good thing is, like I said, we see victory here. We see victory. We see clarity coming in that gives you the awareness that this is over now. Okay, this Three of Pentacles energy, this is not working because either we're not working or there's outside influences, ends. And it brings back, it again puts you back into the space of what does it mean to have to protect yourself. But here you are bonded with individuals. So for many of you, this can be new soul contracts that actually are better. But like I said, I can't deny the fact that I feel intuitively that for many of you, it can be the revisitation of an old connection that once was putting you in this space that is now realigning itself to create some kind of bond with you. When we look what's going on in your shadow, we see the Seven of Wands here with the Eight of Cups in reverse, right? That's the traditional way to describe it. In this deck, it is the Seven of Canes with the Eight of Calabash in reverse. So what's interesting about this energy, the combination of the two, especially when we're looking at the Seven of Canes, it's very clear that your fear is competition. Your fear is having to fight. Your fear, because the Seven of Wands is not just a general fight, or even a fun little spar that can take place when it comes to the Five of Wands. The Seven of Wands is when you've gone beyond sparring, all right? You go from the Five of Wands, which is about, again, sparring, you're not really in danger. You get to the Six of Wands, you win, and then when you get into the Seven of Wands, it's who's going to take you off your spot, you know, who's going to take you off that ledge, who's here to interfere with this victory that you feel like you've earned, right? People don't want to see you on top of that on top of that stage with that medal, you know. And when it comes to love, that can be a very scary energy. The good thing is neither one of these are major arcanas. In the subject and also in the shadow, we don't see any majors, we see all minors. So this feels like something that you're going to be navigating very well, which is no surprise to me, because based on what we saw in the personal reading, you guys are much more emotionally stable during this month than you have been previously. So whatever thing is going on with your love life, as you break out of this paradigm, it doesn't feel like something that is like super intensely emotionally damning for you. It feels like something that you are navigating quite well. You can handle it, it can be handled. And when we look at this Seven of Wands with this Eight of Cups, it's fear, again, of competition. Who's going to take you off that ledge? Oh, and for those of you, especially with the traditional sense of the third party dynamic, who's going to stop this union? Who is going to sit here and tell you that you don't deserve this love, that you don't deserve to be loved? What other options does this person have? Who's interfering, right? Will this work? I don't want to have to fight. I don't want to have to compete. That's kind of the energy. And then when we see the Eight of Calabash in reverse, it's also a fear of having to walk away. Because what we see here is a lot of emotional stability. It feels like emotional stability. There's this like the heart feels strong right now, right? In terms of how it is that I'm feeling. So it's like the heart feels strong. I don't feel this like caved in energy. You guys don't feel, for those of you who I'm reading for, it's not like this energy feels like, oh my gosh, it's gonna wash you away. You feel strong, but you also don't want to walk away. Whatever it is that you're dealing with when it comes to love, or who you're dealing with, you don't necessarily want to leave them behind, and you're actually scared that you have to, which is no surprise because many of you guys have walked away from many different things. You've walked away from where you've lived, you walked away from relationships, you've had to walk away from so many people and so many things during this last leg of your Pluto transit, that I'm not surprised to see this Eight of Calabash being in the shadow, because it's saying, okay, I don't want to walk away, but I will if I have to, right? Because you don't want to be in this Seven of Canes energy where everything is a fight in terms of love. For those of you who are in partnerships, permanent unions, honestly, I'm going to be completely transparent when I say I don't feel like I'm reading directly for those of you who are in intensely bonded connections, but I will say that it feels like whatever it is that has been affecting you guys on the outside, whatever third party situation that has been stopping you from being able to work together, right? The thing that it's coming up where it's looking at, okay, how are you being used? Where do you need to set boundaries? How are you possibly manipulating one another, right? And ending cycles, right? Ending cycles tied to this energy. And I'll just be very blunt when I say some of you guys have soul contracts with people that maybe aren't the healthiest. Let's just be clear, right? And there's some kind of victory that you're getting with this energy, right? You're realizing you're getting the clarity that you need, let's say from this particular person, but the particular person may not be the healthiest person. When we look at what's going on, and that might be your mission, right? But when we look at what's going on in terms of your advice, we've got the perfection of your life within the world, not of the world. And this brings me back to what I was saying in terms of maybe some of you guys are dealing with situations that aren't the most traditionally healthy, or the person isn't the most traditionally healthy, right? When we look at in the world, not of the world, it's my Capricorn card, it's my SeaGoat card, and it's all about understanding how to navigate the more general, bare bones, practical world, and then also be in your own spiritual, emotional body at the same time, right? Be in your own headspace. It's a very unique kind of energy, but it's more rooted in practicality than it is the general, like Aquarian energy. So when it looks at you being in the world, not of the world, it's asking you to look at things outside of convention, right? What does it mean to sit at the intersection of non-judgment when it comes to what's happening either with this person and this dynamic as you're getting out of this energy, getting out of this girl with the snake energy? And perfection of your life, I would say that more than anything feels like stepping back to then prioritize what's going on with you as the individual. This is both energies are saying like being 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Now, it's not to say to separate yourself from love as a general commitment, but I have to be honest. In order to keep yourself stable, it's understanding who it is that you are outside of this situation. And as you understand who it is that you are outside of this situation, it allows you to still maintain boundaries, because as you shift out of this paradigm, there is something here, especially for those of you who are dealing with a particular person that you've had to set boundaries with. It's not to say that you can't see victory in this, because obviously we see this clarity, we see this victory, we see this end of this paradigm taking place in the soulmate energy, right? But there's something about this that still requires you to not be fully in. There's something about it that still requires you to and I can see that as a lesson, right? Like, what does it mean to not fully give yourself over, to know where you stand in comparison to the other so you don't get lost, right? And that's another benefit that tends to come from when we're dealing with individuals that maybe aren't the nicest or the easiest kind of dynamics, or the healthiest kind of individuals, that maybe for some of you, especially those of you deeper on the spiritual path, that may be a part of your mission with this individual, right? Let's go into the healing points. And again, outside of this, if it's not a particular person, for those of you who this is just a general, and anything that you're dealing with an individual or outside of an individual, remember, is reflective of what's going on internally. It's your greater life paradigm, right? So at the end of the day, this paradigm is ending for you. Either it's ending directly, right, with something tangible, or it's just your entire love paradigm ending as you then understand how to be less codependent, less susceptible to vulnerable or triggering or unhealthy relationship dynamics, because you're understanding how to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It doesn't mean you're not surrendering to love, but you're in love in a way that is more stable. And that's where your victory comes in. And there's, again, a lot of beautiful clarity in love. There's a lot of communication. It's like there's something cutting through the clouds that's going to put you in this space where you understand that it's over. You understand that this painful cycle that you've had to deal with is come to a close, and there's victory and a beautiful soulmate energy at the end. All right, so when we look at the healing points, this here is an air energy. A way through this struggle has already been created for you, and you are being led onto that path. Your authentic soul path may include recognition and acclaim, notable success and admiration. Be grateful, but do not be dazzled or distracted by such experiences. Focus on what connects you to your heart and grounds you in the simplicity of the spiritual truth, which is the practice of love, kindness, and peace. This will allow for you to have successful progress in the material world without disrupting the sanctity of your soul. This is interesting because this card for me is always a way to indicate social media success, popularity, leaning into, it's like the star energy for me in terms of this deck, in terms of the when the star energy represents attention, again, acclaim, you being a literal star, right? And then having the trust and the faith in the universe of that healing energy that's guiding you, that tends to happen with the star energy. And this card is all about understanding how to be grateful and not dazzled by this kind of acclaim like success. So what's interesting about this is it's like asking you to be grounded, right? As you know who it is that your worth is, as you know that you are this person with this attention grabbing kind of energy, it's also knowing how to be grounded at the same time, which then brings me back to this space of in the world, not of the world, accompanied with that same energy. And even though this is a love reading, your advice is to know who you are. Because when I get this card, yes, it mentions, the simplicity of your spiritual truth, which is the practice of love, kindness, and peace. This is not the card that's so rooted in connecting with another person. It's just not. It's all about understanding how to connect with your life path, can be connecting with your career, connecting with your own brightness, your own beauty, your own, again, social media success. This month, in terms of love, is the advice, especially with perfection of your life in the world, not of the world, which is asking you to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You have to know who you are and the fact that you are this star energy. You're someone that a lot of people want. Okay, you're someone that a lot of people are interested in, especially when we see this going on with the Six of Wands. It's like, yes, you're getting victory here, but keep in mind the Six of Wands is also about critical acclaim. It's also about notoriety in its own right. And the clarity of knowing that, you stand out amongst the crowd, okay? So if you're dealing with a person that has tried to separate themselves from you or act as if though you maybe were just another option, you're probably going to get an awareness of the fact that didn't go over too well, right? Or again, if that's not one particular person, it's getting the awareness of how other people see you and how other people in the love dynamic are experiencing you. It's kind of like that feeling of love finds you when you're not looking for it, right? As you're basking in who you are. And it's interesting because at different points throughout this year, as we dabbled into love, we've seen desperation on you guys' side. We've seen codependency on you guys' side at different times, like trying to understand that or navigate that, right? This intense pull or desire that love was kind of having on you. Versus in this case, as we're going through the month of liberation, it's understanding that you already, what you want is in the bag at this point, right? There is no comparison. There is no more competition. It's a matter of you knowing who you are and where it is that you stand, and the fact that you are unique. You are your own individual, and you're not heavily invested in, it's not to say that you don't want love, because obviously if you're watching this reading, you want love, but you're not heavily invested in getting lost in it. It's more like you're standing here. You know who it is that you are, and you're grounded in terms of knowing who it is that you are. But this is where you heal. You heal when you understand that. This is telling you to not get lost in whatever emotions, because like I said, we still see girl with the snake here, right? It's like you align better with healthier love when you understand the value that you hold. So well, this next card here is Earth, right? So we're talking about clarity with air, clarity of who it is that you are and how special you are, right? And how unique you are. And this is grounded in Earth. So this is interesting because we also have a double confirmation on clarity with the Ace of Swords. This awareness, if you're getting communication, for those of you who are dealing with one specific individual, if you're getting communication about how someone feels about you, that is reflective of you getting communication from the divine's energy of your value, right? Of your victory, of the fact that you stand out amongst them all. You understand? So it still is rooted in that same energy. This viewpoint of competition and having to walk away and all of these things gets null and void. It gets thrown out, right? So when we ground it in this energy at the bottom here, out of confusion, okay? And when we're talking about confusion, the opposite of confusion is the Ace of Swords upright. Out of confusion, a clear and progressive pathway is opening up for you. It is an auspicious time to give generously of yourself to others, enriching the quality of your connection. So this is more rooted in what I see in terms of love, right? You ground this energy of your self-worth while you enrich the quality of the connections and the people around you. Expressing spiritual blessings of goodwill and encouragement from your heart. A powerful blessing is entering your world beautiful. A prayer is now being answered in a beautiful way, especially for those of you who have been wanting this beautiful soulmate energy. Those of you who have been really putting in the healing work to want a relationship that truly does serve you, to get out of a narcissist paradigm where you're having to protect yourself and all these things, finally getting out of that and being into the healthy soul contract energy. I can't wait to show you guys what's at the bottom of the deck. A powerful blessing is entering your world. A prayer is now being answered in a beautiful way. Spirit gives freely and generously of all good things. And the task of humanity is to learn how to receive, right? And you're receiving as you're not chasing, right? You're in the sense of understanding who you are, of your value, of your worth, of where you actually sit, right? How many of you guys have just been connecting with individuals that just could not see you clearly? And really it was because you couldn't see yourself. This clarity, this air energy, like I said, this star energy for me is all about clarity through understanding that you are that star, that you are deserving of that spotlight. The key to receiving is an open, surrendered, generous and trusting heart. Okay, so that's how you ground this new awareness of self, right? This new confidence in terms of understanding who it is that you are in your uniqueness, the perfection of your own life. This gift is being given to you, which is why we see this beautiful victory here in terms of what's happening with love. But it's time for you to accept love with an open and generous heart, and not in a space where you're insecure and worried about what you have to fight, who you have to compete with, and if you have to walk away, this like fear. It's stepping out of that energy. But it makes sense, because if this is still here, right? How you feel makes perfect sense. But in this case, you can open your heart generously, because you're coming from a space of more self-confidence, a more relaxed energy. You know who it is that you are. It's easier to receive. It's easier to trust, right? It's easier to let go in that way. It's more like you understand that it's kind of the loss of the other if it does not align, right? It's learning how to date in a way that is more relaxed. Or for those of you guys who are, like I said, I think I'm speaking mostly to those people who are trying to make connections happen, or more like in the single realm. But for those of you guys who are in fact partnered, it's like a new light gets shined on who you are in comparison to your partner. And there's something about you that you, again, your confidence comes together, and your partner has a deepening sense of awareness of who it is that you are. Whatever insecurities that you have been carrying in your relationship, whether consciously or subconsciously, are able to rush themselves out into a river. And you know that you deserve this person. You know that you deserve this healthy union. You know how to move forward in a different light. All right, so at the bottom of the tarot, we had the Two of Swords, and that was backed up here by the Knight of Pentacles. And what I liked about this energy here is when we're looking at the Two of Swords, again, it's not trusting in what it is that you see. It's trusting in what it is that you feel, trusting in what it is that you know. It's asking you to go into your intuition. And we got the Ace of Swords, and what was next to that is the Two of Swords, right? So one leading into the other. As you bring about this newfound clarity of self, right? As this clarity comes to you, it deepens your sense of intuition, again, of a more relaxed energy, of a more in the world, not of the world energy. You don't have to control it so much. You can trust in it. You know that you don't have to see it in order to know you are loved, in order to know you are deserving of love. And then when we looked at the Knight of Pentacles, obviously whatever it is that is happening is coming together slowly, right? So there's been some kind of movement toward this union, this soul connection, soul contract, or renewal of a soul contract, whatever it is that you're going through. Or for those of you who are singles, you're walking toward the vibration. Everyone here is walking toward the vibration of soulmate energy. This has been something that's been a slow process. This does not feel like something that's a slow process moving forward. It feels like, again, kind of similar to what we saw with the personal reading. This is something that is going to find its close at the end of November. You move forward with this energy and you feel fully realized in this energy at the end of the month. And you're the one moving slowly in this sense. At the bottom of the clarity decks, right, which are actually love decks, is we have kisses in abundance. How beautiful is that, huh? So yeah, we've got the empath narcissist paradigm, which has been playing out and is a part of this subject this month. Like, where do you have to set boundaries? Are you going to be charmed? Are you going to be, manipulated? Is that actually what's going on with this soul contract? But we've got unconditionally loving and receiving. What I love about this card, my kisses card, is the card that I look for in confirmation, especially when it comes to love, about the fact that the worry that we have, as individuals in the human experience, that, I feel these feelings, but does the other person feel them at the same rate that I do? Especially when we saw the Two of Swords is clarity for backing up what's going on with the tarot. The Two of Swords in love, in terms of advice, is often the thing that says, listen, you don't have to hear it every day to know that that person loves you. No matter how far away, you can feel it. It's a deep no, right? So I love the kisses card because it lets me know that there's unconditional reciprocity, what is it, reciprocity, or you guys know the word that I'm trying to say, reciprocal. It's another derivative of reciprocal energy. I just can't get it out of my I just can't get it out the right way, but that word. And this is here with abundance. And abundance is also, again, a powerful card because it lets you know that you can get whatever it is that you want. There's a lightening of the load here. There's a lightening of the energy. There's victory here. Especially when we're looking at abundance tied with the Six of Wands. It's time to celebrate. It's time to be happy. You're felt. You're felt, and you're going to know that. At the bottom of the shadow deck, speaking of threes, we have the Three of Cups. So again, for a lot of you, you are used to, for all of you, there's always something that interferes with your love life, okay? There's something that has been interfering, something that makes it so that it does not work. For some of you, this could be your own behavior, Okay, especially if you're in long-term relationships and you're the person that has been the messed up person or whatever, your own desire for, let's say, extracurricular activities, especially when we're looking at the Three of Cups, which can be a more party-like energy, there's always something on the outside or someone on the outside that stops this from working. And that's a part of the fear that we see here, especially when we see the Three of Cups. That's what's sitting in your shadow. Do I have to compete? Do I have to fight, right? Do I have to walk away because there is outside influence? Because there is something else that's going to be stopping this from coming together. And that's a part of what's in your fear place, right? But in your advice, we've got Sacred Fool, the Great Surrender. The advice deck right now is just really pulling out some things that I was not expecting to see in a love reading, because it's nothing. None of this stuff is about traditional love. And in this deck, in this oracle deck, I have cards that speak more to traditional love, power of attraction and different things like that, or even release the dark wound, let love live. And none of that is here. This is more about self. Even when it comes to the Sacred Fool, it's understanding how to surrender. Maybe you don't know. It's beginning. The Sacred Fool, oftentimes I relate it back to the Fool in the Tarot. And it's taking that leap of faith. It's like you don't know everything, you don't have it all figured out, but there's a level of freedom that comes from that. It's the Fool traditionally is Aquarian energy, where it's kind of like impulsively just going with it and being able to, push down the emotion so it doesn't have to be such a hard hit. So that's what's backed up here by perfection of the life and in the world, not of the world, which in the world, not of the world is more that unique Capricorn energy, that SeaGoat energy, and then finalized with the Aquarian energy. So moving from one into the other, right? Moving from one space into the other. And it's going back into that space of just doing your own thing and being more, I don't want to say detached, but it's just more free. Like as if things don't have to come crashing down. Like it's like stepping out of an energy where there has to be some kind of traumatic outside thing that's going to cause some kind of break. It's the Great Surrender in that sense. And you're doing it your way. Your relationship is forming your way. Okay, and at the bottom of the healing point, we've got Shekinah, which is all about understanding that the divine is trying to create solutions here. This is about great surrender. I want to read this one for you guys. That's water energy. The spiritual worlds want to help you resolve your worldly concerns. And this is what I was saying in terms of this is a paradigm shift. Okay, it is the end of a cycle. And literally, because when we see the girl with the snake, we're talking about a paradigm, right? It's the end of a paradigm, the end of a paradigm and shifting into a new one. So it's a great release in terms of this energy. And it's very divine. It's divine, right? It's divinely guided. It's divinely orchestrated. And that's probably why we don't see major arcana here. That's probably why it doesn't feel so intensified, like it's washing you away. It just feels almost like you're in a more emotionally stable place where it feels like you're just kind of flowing through it, moving from one into the other in that sense. The spiritual worlds want to help you resolve your worldly concerns. It is safe for you to rely on spirit as a loving, protective, helpful, and practical presence able to positively affect all areas of your life, including facilitating the resolution of physical problems. Do not limit your spirituality to concepts. Instead, apply your higher knowledge and principles. Grow your wisdom and live your path. Acknowledge your value as a person, as a soul. Treasure the gift of your path and let your spirituality integrate in all facets of your life. Again, more things that are not traditionally loved. Obviously, we saw that at the bottom here with this earth energy, it was more in a sense of surrendering with an open heart because a gift is being given. But again, the overarching energy is the gift is being given from the divine. It feels more like a detachment. In that sense, like a great surrender. There is a beautiful healing energy that comes to you because it's the end of one and the entrance of the other. And I don't want you guys to think that love isn't forming here, because obviously we see that, right? We see that with the Ace of Swords and victory with the Six of Wands and soulmate energy. There is something coming together. There is a a connection being formed here, right? Again, for some of you, it is a directly relationship that you have been involved in, whereas for others of you, you're just now finally in the vibration of matching the right energy. But again, it's divinely guided. You're protected, so you don't need to protect yourself in terms of this empath narcissist paradigm. And for those of you who have been dealing with a specific individual for a period of time, right, that has put you in this energy, or that has played out, these themes have played out, it seems again like there is like the give it to God kind of energy. Like there's something bigger than you that is giving you the solutions or the resolution between you and, I don't see twin flame here, but like I said, I did see equally giving and receiving kisses is all about equal love, reciprocity. Thank you. Reciprocity. Thank you. Reciprocity and abundance, which is keeping a positive mindset and getting exactly what it is that you want, right? So if it has been something that has been playing out for a period of time, the resolution is there, but it's not necessarily in your hands. What you're being asked to do is focus on yourself and how great you are, really. Because I think for a lot of you, this has maybe been a confidence issue, which is why you constantly ran into these dynamics. So let's get some advice here. Overall, this is really great energy. That's a whole new sense of clarity on, yeah, who it is that you are, what it is that you deserve, how you're seen, how you're truly valued. All right, so let's do what it is that you need to know, how is it you need to feel, and who is it that you need to be. No, feel, be. Let's do it. Know, feel, be. You see the moon there, which is interesting on the Page of Pentacles. Oh wow, look at the Six of Wands again. Wow, okay. All right, so finally we see a major arcana here. And like I said, I saw the moon at the bottom of the deck. So when we're looking at what it is that you need to know, the Tower, I can't explain it enough. I can't express it enough. There's huge change here. There's huge transformation. It's the end. There's where we see the Tower, it's like something is coming in. This clarity that you're getting with the Ace of Swords, again, it's something that the divine is giving to you. So for many of you, it's just awareness of self, right? But for others of you, it is another person. It is another individual crashing through the clouds, bringing about this clarity, changing your paradigm, shifting the way your relationship operates. And it's this great transformation. For those of you who have been going through long-term connections, you're finally done with this era. It's done. It's finished. Great change is afoot here. The Tower is falling. The Tower is crashing, but it's a good Tower. It's a good Tower because how it is it that you need to, it's just a matter of knowing that, like, boom. And when the Tower falls, nothing is as it was. Nothing is. And this is a great, beautiful energy. This energy feels very, very nice, okay? When we look at the Ace of Wands, this is how it is that you need to feel. New passionate beginning. Passionate, ready for the new, right? Because we look at the aces, because we've got an ace here with the Ace of Swords. Obviously, this cutting through the clouds energy is going to be there. But how it is that, and that's what's going on, right? But how you need to feel is ready for things that you do not know. Ready to be maybe wrong. Ready to be aware. We're also, the Ace of Wands is also phallic as well. Ready for passion. Ready for the new. The thing about the Ace of Wands, for me, it's one of the, it's kind of like that lighthearted energy in terms of complete newness, because the other aces happen further in the arcana, right? The Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning. The Ace of Cups is a love offer, right? Ready to just unveil all that's in your heart. The Ace of Swords, like we see here, is usually some kind of communication or clarity. The Ace of Wands is just being ready for whatever, ready for whatever will be. Passionately open, surrendered, happy, excited, loving with excitement, passion, openness. And I know, for many of you, you would want it to be more of an Ace of Cups, but how long have you found yourself in the Ace of Cups energy? Sometimes the Ace of Cups can feel so watery. It can, it can feel like the kind of vulnerability that sometimes doesn't always feel the most fun, right? In this case, and it's also something that's a deep knowing when you give the Ace of Cups. Just hand that Ace of Cups out, right? The bleeding cup of water. In this case, it's passion, again, vitality, ready for the new. The fire, the Ace of Fire is newness. Like I've been talking about with Birth of Fire lately. You can't get any more new, any more excited, any more, I don't know what will be because I'm used to something else and now it's something different with the Ace of Wands. And then who is it you need to be is the Six of Wands. Beautiful. I'm loving this. The Six of Wands is sitting on top of the Six of Wands, which is letting you know that, yes, you're getting victory in the subject, right? What's going on is you're getting out of this paradigm and you're trying to decide where you need to enable boundaries, what's going on, your soul contract, soul partnership, you're navigating this energy, stepping away from the third party energy, stuff like that, what's outside influence, what's not working. This whole thing is coming together, this clarity is coming together in order for you to bring this union together or align, and there's victory here. That's what's going on. But you're also being this energy. You're being the victor. And it's beautiful because, again, like I mentioned before, the Six of Wands is about critical acclaim. It is about knowing who you are, being the person who is sitting on the top and everyone is applauding you, which is the same as this energy here. So this is great. I'm loving this. It's like self-celebration, knowing that you're the great choice, knowing that you're the one, knowing that victory is here to find you. You're going to be victorious in your love life. You're going to get what it is that you want. You're passionate about that. There isn't anything here that is stopping you or holding you back. It's you being the victor. So much passion here. I'm loving this. So much passion. Let me see if I can actually get you guys a... it's been a while since I looked up the traditional energies of this. So usually I have my own book on the tarot and who I usually indicate as each person, right? What does it mean to be the Six of Wands? And what's interesting, again, about the Six of Wands energy is it is a person that is prideful, but in a good right? A person full of pride. And there's a humility that comes with that pride because it's true confidence. It's not just boastful, right? It's like understanding you are it. So much confidence in knowing that you are vibrant. You are the victor. You are the choice here. It's time to take a bow, right? It's knowing how to go toward that. And most importantly, you're now the person who is walking toward commitments that are not only deserved of you, but there's something there. You're walking toward commitments that make you feel victorious. Your love life is making you feel happy and victorious, which is great. And I'm really happy about that. This is good. I love this energy. Okay, so that's what I've got for you guys. I love you. Ciao.